My star.
You're standing right on it. I don't know what else to ask you. I guess we were talking about what you think of these people. Why don't we start over with that?
Okay. The people that we've found to run are great. You know, I didn't know how many runners there were in Lincoln until, you know, if I'm driving along and I see somebody running, there's been a couple times I'll just stop and ask them, how would you like to do this for St. Jude's? And a couple have said, sure, you know, and it's been fun. And I've gotten to know so many more people in Lincoln, and so it's real, I don't know what I'm saying, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm rambling.
I don't know what else I've got to ask you.
No, I just want to say that, you know, we expected to have maybe only 5 or 10 runners, and we've got 25 on our list, and this is just our first year, and I know it's going to grow, you know, each year that we do this, and I'm looking forward each year to working on this. So we're real excited in Lincoln about this. We've got a great group of people.
Why a run instead of a bake sale? Tiddlywinks contest.
Gosh, that does sound a little bit easier than getting out there running. We're doing the run basically because I think the precedent has been set by Mike McCoy and the Memphis runners, and it's successful for them, so it would be for us too. And I know it's a way, you know, you've heard the expression, run for your life, you know, running for your life. But they're running for lives too. They're running for the kids' lives. And you know, runners are crazy anyway. I don't know why people want to get out in that heat and you know, kill themselves running. But if they're going to do it, you know, and if they want to raise the money for it, I think that's great. St. Jude's is a good cause, and so we're just doing it. We're just follow suit. You know, it's worked for the other cities and other towns, so we can do it too.
Great. That's it. Why don't you tell me your name and what your function is with St. Jude?
Well, my name is Pam Barton, and I'm a parent of a St. Jude child. I'm working with Mary this year on our first Lincoln to Peoria run. We're very excited and very interested in this because Mary and I are interested in helping, repaying some of the generosity and the kindness that has been shown to us by St. Jude Hospital.
Mary said that it was your idea. Is that true?
Well, it was in the beginning, but it just kind of, I mean, as soon as I made my first 1 or 2 phone calls, it stemmed from one person into a large group of people, very interested and very helpful. Mary and I also have the help of another mother, Jen Cotterman, and 2 local businessmen who have been very helpful. I mean, so many hours of their time away from their business helping us, Denny Grau and Rich Logan. And they're kind of our core group and have been most generous with their time and help. And even though Rich and Denny don't have any children involved, they've been very interested and very helpful.
I know you're a parent, but what are you feeling? Why are you doing this?
Well, I think I was most impressed by meeting Mike McCoy when all this first started. And even though I've been a parent, I haven't had time in the first year of my son's illness to do a lot of help as far as fundraising and being involved in paying back St. Jude. And when I found out he was someone who really doesn't have a child involved in this, someone who's more than willing to give a lot of his time and effort, I was just impressed by all the people that are involved in this entire Memphis to St. Jude run that really don't have any link with St. Jude other than being a kind person wanting to help in many ways. And so I became interested in this and started training for the first time to run. I've never run before in my life, and I started about 8 weeks ago. So hopefully I can make it out of Lincoln to the van and hopefully from Equid Park to the convention center. That'll be my goal.
A lot of the groups that I've been talking to have equated these runs with being families, and you probably have the youngest family of the bunch. What do you think of your young family?
Well, I know Billy's been, He's been coming to the meetings, and so is Daniel. This is Mary's little boy, Daniel, and they've always kind of stood in the background and listened to what's going on. And we also, Mary and I both have other children that, you know, sometimes the other children in the family tend to be left out a little bit. They're always in the background, and so I think it becomes an entire family matter, not just the children that are sick, but but also, you know, your other children become involved, and they learn to be patient and sometimes often to be in the background when the one child who has been sick, even though they've been through a lot of traumatic situation, they tend to take a lot of the limelight, and so it's a family affair for all of us.
Okay. That's good, but the one thing I was referring to is that they consider the runners and the group of runners as a family.
Oh, now,
What do you think of those folks?
you mean as far as what children are going to be running?
Just everybody that's running, these folks out here. What do you think of them?
Well,
And remember, they are in the room and they do have clubs outside.
well, a lot of these people are, some of them are people that I knew before and had enlisted and asked because I knew they were interested in running, and I knew they were aware of my situation with Billy. And I hardly had any hesitation, just like Mary said, hardly any hesitation from anybody wanting to do this. And then I've met a lot of new people, friends of Mary's, friends of other people who knew other people who have just, because they like running, because they're aware of St. Jude, have joined in to help us. And many of them don't even have children themselves, but they are going out and working hard and trying to get the donations to help us to have our first year be a big success.
Anything else you'd like to say?
I don't think so. I just appreciate your time coming down here to Lincoln to see us. Help! Oh boy, I could just see that on TV that night. Are we done?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
You know Steve Shaw then?
Huh?
Do you know Steve Shaw? Yes, you do. Isn't he the guy that came out and shot you with the camera a couple years ago? Okay, then you know him, right? You got anything you want to say to him? Like what kind of guy he is or anything? No? He's a pretty unrememberable kind of guy then, is that right? Okay. Well, what do you think of these people that run out there? It's going to be about 100 degrees that day. What do you think of them?
Nice.
They're nice? Anything
Yeah.
else?
No.
No?
No.
Anything else you want to say?
No.
You want to say thanks to the people of Central Illinois?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't know.
Okay. That's good. Thanks.
I don't know.
Anything? What do you think of these people that run for St. Jude?
They're nice.
They're nice? That's what he said.
I didn't hear them.
Are you going to run?
No.
No? Are you going to run maybe a couple years from now?
Maybe.
You like running? You'd
No.
rather play ball.
Yeah.
You'd rather play ball? Well,
Yeah.
maybe you can have a baseball game for St. Jude or something like that. Well, you could. You could charge admission. Don't you think? Maybe you could get some of the Cubs and the Cardinals to come down and play. About halfway between. You think maybe?
Maybe, but I doubt.
Okay, anything else you want to tell anybody? You want to say thanks to all the people that helped you out?
Thanks to all the people that helped me out.
Okay, that's good. For some reason you look familiar, but I don't know why. Have you ever run for St. Jude before?
No.
No? Well, what's your name and why are you going to do this?
Well, my name is Grover Everett, and I live here in Lincoln. And I'm going to do the run primarily because Pam asked me to, and I feel quite honored in doing that. And with the meetings here and previous meetings that we've had, the meaning of the run seems to get a little bit more personalized, and I have a little more deeper feelings about the cause. I initially felt that the run would be a challenge, and I enjoy accepting a challenge, and I like to run. And with the August heat, I think it's going to be very difficult, but I'm looking forward to it. But I'm discovering now that there are deeper meanings to this, and that it is going to help the people of Lincoln and the children, and it's a wonderful cause. I don't know what's more precious than our own children, so I'm quite honored in participating.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Yeah, all right. And then your name is?
My name is Barbara Verderber, and
Why are you going to run for St. Jude this year?
well, it's kind of like what Grover said. Pam asked me, and I said yes. It was a challenge and something to keep me motivated to run. But now that I get into it more, or when I'm out running or just thinking, I'm using a gift that God gave me, you know, running. I can run a long distance that I can give to help kids, you know, help them survive a disease if possible. And maybe they can share their gift and whatever it may be, something more important than running a long distance, maybe. That's what I've been thinking lately.
That's a nice thought.
Well, I am.
Well, what's your name? That's always an easy
Oh,
question.
my name's Ann Spellman.
Why are you going to do this run? You like to run a lot?
I like to run. That was my first reason. When Pam asked me, I was interested just because of the run. I wasn't that familiar with St. Jude, but after coming to the meetings and finding out what St. Jude is all about, and after seeing the videos that Mike has brought down, every time I see these videos, seeing these children and their families, it just touches you in such a way that you just want to pour your heart out to it, and you want to do something for these children. And I feel like this is the least thing I can do, and it's just so exciting to see how everyone's gotten involved and participated, and it's just a thrill to be a part of it.
That's great. You got some new ones coming. Very good. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you for everyone who's raised money for St. Jude's.
That's great. There you go.
A couple years ago on Lee Hall's special said basically the same thing. He says, if I can pay back to enable some kid now that has cancer to be able to run like I am, then it would be successful. And I agree.
Every year, at least for the last few years, we've had parents that run, former patients that run. We got some goofy guy from the station that runs, and there was one that ran, a guy from here that ran on the second one, Paul Beitzel.
Paul
was
Beitzel.
from the station.
Exactly.
What do you know, first of all, parents and patients, any thoughts on them?
Once again, back to the hospital, the focus on the hospital. I don't think people can understand what it's like when some of those parents have to go back to that hospital. It's a mandatory visit. If you're going on the trip, you're going to the hospital. You're not going to stay in the hotel. You're not going to stay in the motorhomes. You're going to go in. And it's tough. It's really tough. We have people that go on the run who have kids and brothers and family who didn't make it out of St. Jude. Or if they made it out of St. Jude, they didn't live very long at all. And those are the people that you almost try to stay away from because it gets to be too emotional. I don't know how they do it. I don't know what I would do if one of my children didn't make it out of St. Jude. It's tough. But every one of them say the same thing, that St. Jude gave them hope, St. Jude gave them care, and St. Jude gave them more time. And I think that's important. The patients that go, the former patients, Les Chambers is a quality...
I'm sorry, my battery's going dead. I just noticed that. Les, you're talking about Les Chambers going down there.
Les is a former patient who, along with Vince Murray, have gone a couple times, but Les is there for the duration. I think this is his 6th or 7th year that Les has gone. And he goes to pay back. He had Hodgkin's disease, and he was lucky to come out of it. He raises as much money as anyone and more than most, plus he trains hard, and plus he's an inspiration to everybody else. And I think it's great that he goes because he shows other people that have leukemia and other kids that are being treated that there's hope out there. And he's hope for the parents too. And he's hope for all the kids at St. Jude. because he's a success story, a real success.
And then there's Lee Hall, and we should, mention Paul Beitzel and other people that are are involved here at the station, and then they've gone on the run.
The involvement of the station has evolved from something that I suppose was crammed down their throats because it was an event that was being successful and people had to pay attention to it. When Paul Beitzel went the second year, I think we ran in here the first year, and maybe 50 people were outside, and we came in the door over here, and it was sort of exciting to raise $21,000. And I know Paul then contacted us, said he wanted to go, and then he went for a year, I think, before he got transferred. I remember Lee Hall's first year. We were told that this new guy on the sports, Lee Hall, was going to meet us out at S&K Chevrolet and talk to us about the run, and he was in fact going to go along with us and be a part of the news team. He wasn't going to run, but he was going to cover it. And we said, okay. Obviously that would do us some good and help us out with some PR. That morning that we were supposed to meet him at 11 o'clock, as was usual, we had some motorhome problems and we didn't meet Lee. But Lee showed up on Tuesday morning before we were getting ready to leave for our send-off from downtown. And that was the first time I'd ever met him. And Lee's attitude was caring and interested in his job, but he really had no idea what St. Jude was all about or what a bunch of people were going to be doing driving to Memphis to come and to run back. I think that by the time he spent a couple hours with Gene, a couple hours with me, and a couple hours with some of the people that had been on 4 or 5 of these, at least in his mind, he said that he was starting to have a different perspective of the whole event. He got to Memphis, and once again we got him in the hospital, and you could see Lee become quiet. You could see him just turn into almost a different person, and his whole perspective of the event changed. And then he saw the people run back, and he saw, I think at the first year he went, it was 104 a couple days. And we ran at night, and it was 87 and 88 at night with humidity at 95% and through the hills and the valleys. And pretty soon, one time, Lee appeared in a pair of shorts and a shirt. And I said, "What the hell are you going to do out here tonight?" He says, "I want to be a part of this." And now we can't get him out. He's one of our biggest supporters. He's been bit by the bug, so to speak. He's a big asset, and he's a great athlete, too. He raises a lot of money, and he does us a great service.
That's funny. What a good story. And then he did that in '86, and in '87 he did Every Step You Take. Any comments on that show?
No, I think I didn't say a whole lot to him. I told him one day in a little note how proud I was that he did it and how thankful I was that he did it, because that show probably got us more community positive public relations than anything we could ever do. It won a couple of awards for public service announcements or public service stories, and it really brought to light what the run was all about. It showed first time to people what it was like, for the most part, the heat and what we had to go through. The other thing it did was it created awareness to the people other than the runners, because the runners weren't here the night that it was shown. I think that was they showed it on Wednesday, and I think we were starting back that same night, and we didn't get to see it. And we got back, everybody was raving about how great a job Lee had done and how it had really turned out. And a credit to the station, because everybody helped him. There were a lot of people that helped him edit it and put the pieces together. It was I didn't see it till about a week later, and my wife and I watched it the other night again, and we started to watch. I said, "Oh, we'll watch a couple minutes of it," and all of a sudden we sat through it again, and it's a tremendous story. He did a great job.
Hey, John. Yeah. I'm just about done. Okay. Challenges. What's the biggest challenge on this, aside from the run?
No sleep. There's just.
I mean, aside from the whole 4 days that you are on the road. I mean, the organizing.
It's a real challenge to figure out how to safely get 65 people from Peoria to Memphis and from Memphis back to Peoria. whether it be in 9 motorhomes just driving or 9 motorhomes as we split them up and safely try to park them along Route 51. Route 51 is a two-way highway. That's a challenge. The other challenge is to keep the people motivated. It's a challenge that St. Jude as a family goes through to continue to keep people trying to raise money for them. There are a lot of personal little challenges, I think, that some of us that organize have that we just do for ourselves, to see people come back the next year, to see someone who maybe wasn't a real supporter a year ago all of a sudden be a real supporter the next year, or the guy that gave you $500 last year give you $650 this year, or the guy that gave you $650 give you $1,000 because he believes now in what you're doing. He knows that what you're doing is a benefit, and therefore then he can believe in it. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges.
22,500, 32,400, 62,905, 91,512, 110,842, 151,040, 166, 351, 180, and $55. 8 years, you raised $817,605. You didn't, but you helped in a big way to raise that kind of money. And you think you're going to make $1 million top $1 million in 9 years.
I hope so. It's we're pushing hard. Everybody's working hard. It's a far cry from the $20,000 a year goal that we'd set for ourselves. If we can do it, and that's a big if. It's not a given. That's a lot of money to raise this year. We have to work hard. We have to get back safely. Obviously, that plays an important part. The people that are committed, the 60 runners to Memphis, the 150 runners from the other 7 cities, are all committed to do it. Inside, I'm jumping for joy on this side of my heart, and on this side, my other side, I'm so cautiously optimistic that I think about it every day. I want it to be over. I want to raise the $1 million. Then we can think of ways to change it, to make it better, to grow, where maybe